that let's say you receive one stream of payment, one payment, and then you get hit by a car. Okay? If you get hit by a car, that money is gone. The rest is gone. And for that reason alone, right, there's no other path than not to take the periodic payment from the government. Now that means you're going to have to pay taxes, right? You're going to have to pay taxes at the highest level of the federal government. And then in addition to that, you'll have to pay your state taxes depending on the state that you live. Let's call it 30%, and let's call the total prize $2 billion. So $600 million, a lot. The thing is, we're running so awfully here. So very, very unimpressed here with, our card distribution so far here today. So I'm going to fold. We can certainly call just for one since I'm closing the action. There's no possibility for someone else to bet above me, but I'm just going to sit and wait here. So back to the annuity. So the fact of the matter is, now you are, well, that person is my mother, or that person's a person that I know. They get a very specific, whoops, I'm going to have to pay attention here. So we're going to end up having to go a bit bigger here, which basically commits me. This person should be folding, but we have to realize that a third of our stack is in already. This could be the shortest stream ever. This can be the shortest stream ever. Here we go. Okay. All right, it's a chop. That wasn't very fun, was it? We were hoping we were in the lead. So, back to the annuity. So, the reality is you need to call a very special type of broker. You cannot just call your strip mall stockbroker. That will not work here. There is the point of this part of the conversation is talking about what a retail, you have your IRA, your 401k. It can be the hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is not considered to be a large amount of money to the institutional world. But if you in fact won the lotto and had hundreds of millions of dollars, the fact of the matter is an entirely different level of service and accuracy will be given to you. Entirely different. This will look nothing like the information you get from the strip mall stockbroker. It'll be nothing like it. And you have to understand this, that in fact not going to be in fact is not. So I just basically had a pair, and since I was in superior position, I continued on with another bet, because if he did not have a king, he can't, it's very difficult to continue. I could have king queen, I could have, king jack, queen jack, hands like that. Probably didn't have king queen. Maybe could have. I minimum raised prior to the flop. So the fact of the matter is that these are other ways. Okay, so, now I've hit go live, so I have no idea of what's actually gone on here. I'll see. I'll see what in fact is being said. I'll see what in fact is being said. What time is it? It's 8:11. All right. So I didn't know what I was doing. What a shock. What a surprise. What a surprise. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to try to listen in on what the broadcast is, just because I'm so bad at this. Let's call it. All right. So good enough. Okay. No, still no. So this person has picked up on the fact that I folded to him the prior time. We'll have to keep that under my hat here. Just write a note to myself. I don't play often enough to remember everybody and things like that. Anyway, let's go back to the lotto. So you've won the lotto. The fact is, you'll get a different quality of advice that will look nothing like the information you get on your monthly statement from your local broker. It'll look nothing like that. Okay? And the important part here is, let's say you've made after taxes is 1.5 billion, right? Or 1 billion. Let's just go round it all the way down to $1 billion. That way you can actually get a scale, okay? What somebody does is call somebody independently, but super high qualified, without a business card. And the reason you need someone like that is because you need to put the professional market in competition with each other. Okay, so this means you can't call the employee from Goldman Sachs. You can't call the employee from JP Morgan. You've got to call someone to be a referee between these two, and just call, and there will be more. Merrill Lynch, not the Merrill Lynch in your local brokerage. No, not that one, right? There's an entirely different set of people, salespeople, trading desks that I was part of, right? They will tailor a very specific set of cash flows for you, which again will not look like what you were just told if you said, okay, Jay, I want to have a $50,000 into a immediate annuity. How much will it pay me? No, it'll look nothing like that. The pricing will be entirely different. It'll be hyper competitive. And this is why you just don't take the first price. The amount of money and the financial difference here will be enormous to you. So there's your bottom line. Is my bottom line here is, it's an illustration of the fact that the information that you think that you get as a private individual, even if you had $1 million, will look nothing like if you had 500 million, $1 billion. No way. Okay. So it's very important. I said on other streams, right? My mother's like, why do you say very important so much? Anyway, it is critical that in fact you don't that you need to have counsel of that quality that understands that language. And it is not going to be, and it's not even going to be a broker in your high net worth group. Let's say you live in South Beach. Yeah, someone living on Paradise Island or whatever it is going to understand what I'm saying right at this moment. That said, across the way, right, Coral Gables, there's not going to be a high net worth broker that is going to understand what I've just said. It is that, and my point is, it's that different. The cash flows, the fact that you need to have some other plans for your extended family, the fact that somebody passes away and you pass away, now what happens? These types of issues are going to take an entirely different scale. But your bottom line is, by no means would you. So you have two takeaways. First of all is, you don't take the periodic payments from the federal government, because it's going to be and you certainly don't do that without first stepping back, using that time and window to ask all the relevant questions of all the relevant parties. And who those relevant parties are not going to be immediately apparent to you. And so this is actually the same thing that I would say if you won $100 million, right? If you had $100 million post-tax, no, you're not discussing this with the financial advisor at your credit union. That is not going to work. Okay. The numbers are different. The scale is different. The execution you get for price on particular investments is entirely different. Right. And not necessarily in stocks, but especially in bonds. And now you are a person who can access the high end of investment alternatives that look nothing like that which is available if you go onto your, Think and Swim account, right, on Ameritrade. No. We'll talk about financial markets here later depending on how long I survive. That is anyway, right? So, I want, like I said, I was going to make a video earlier today about this combination of the fact, I saw that, I saw that, oops, what I've got to do? I've got to make sure that I am not playing music which is not Creative Commons, right? There we go. There we go. So as you can see, like I've said in other streams, right? People who think that poker is this exciting, action-packed game, you are sadly mistaken. This is an exercise in patience. And I don't really consider myself, I'm more patient on a personal level than I am on a level where, than on this kind of thing, right? I've been working for most of the day. And so as a result, by now I'm tired. And just like any person, tired. What can I tell you? So, but like I said, we have no House of the Dragon. All right, so, we've not done well after the flop here at all. So I am not very interested in massively betting here. So like I said, this is a game of patience and, of things not going correctly, which, like I said, has a great deal in common with financial markets. You're not always getting the opportunity. Just because you want your investments to go up, just because you want the environment to be cooperative, that doesn't make it so. Right? I like to tell the comprehensive financial planning clients, I tell them, look, world doesn't care what Jay thinks. Doesn't. World doesn't care what you think. You're still at the red arrow. That's it. How's that different than this? Right? We can have the proper setting. You could have kings. An ace and two jacks show up. Guess what? You're in nth place. That's it. The end. Doesn't matter. Even if you're perfectly prepared, have full command, you're still at the red arrow. There's a reason. There's a reason for this stream and its location here. And the fact that I've created this stream on this channel. That's not a coincidence. This is a fairly fairly common combination of events. Yep. So this, not a very good pair, but beating ace queen, and you can see it. The point is he collected the bounty, which was $25, and half of it goes there. So the person who beats this person, if they knock him out, they get $37.50. You can see I haven't knocked out anyone, so my number's at 25, as are most of the people. This is going to be a pretty big tournament, as you can see. This late registration means that, if you lose, you can re-enter and repay the entry fee. I'll talk about financial markets here. We have started lower. Premium hand here, right? So this is an excellent hand pre-flop. But as you've seen here, that I've had small, not very good pairs. I'm just going to call him. I want to say I've played with this person against this person in the past. Let's see what happens here. Unfortunate. So very unfortunate is I'm the second to lowest stack. So what ends up happening because of the way that the payouts work, right? So again, here we're talking about payouts. What's the payout here at these different nodes? So as a result, then backwards, the betting becomes different, right? Since the payouts are different at the end, then the payouts are different. Then the betting is different at the beginning, not the other way around. And again, the similarities to other walks of financial topics, continue, right? These are related. And I'm saying in this way to both people who have followed the channel and are going to watch this stream on Jay's Corner as a result of the fact you've read the newsletter, there's the URL. Right? But in addition to that, so this person going to like raise again. He also got tired of it. He picked up on it, right? More chips. Now he's going to have to rethink. Yeah. Let's see instead here what we're going to do here. You know, I'm going to try to keep my eye on chat here, unlike usually. We're not on a 5-minute break, are we? That's your look at my watch list, by the way. There's some talk on the news. Apple iPhone 14, 14 Pro production is down as a result of COVID lockdown. And there was also some headline to say that, you know, at the end of last week, there was speculation that China would reopen. A Chinese official swatted that down. That happened today. So you would have thought that the world would have continued after seeing a very strong end, right? So the world is a continuous place. So you need to understand that at the end of a New York day in the United States, Asia is asleep. Well, they may not be asleep, but they're not trading. And then you shut down until, you know, Australia, New Zealand open first. And that starts at 6 p.m. New York time, 5 p.m. Chicago. And the futures market of all financial markets, you know, this over here, Chicago Board of Exchange, this then begins. Absolutely. Let's see if I can, we don't need to. Don't worry, I'll get it together. You may dispute that. There we go. That's more pleasing. Can be a short stream here, not running particularly well. Card distribution, that's the fancy poker term for the randomness of these cards here has not worked out well. The randomness of the 3 cards, which is known as the flop, has also not been good pretty much at all since I began, which can happen, right? I mean, there's some days you're just going to lose, right? Because if this continues on, right, and you keep getting put in here, it's not going to help you. And it's tough to stay patient, right? It's tough to stay. If a poker player runs out of patience, right? Same thing here. You may think, okay, well, I need to make money. I need to be positive. I need it to go up. Well, if the cards are always bad, if the environment is always difficult, the same type of patience required here. Wow. Someone over there is getting the distribution they want, obviously. So the question is how many to try to not to hang on to the ammunition now when it's not going well, right? Very similarly to equity markets, very similarly to your investment strategy. It's not the individual line items, right? I mean, I'm not discussing individual line items here. Right? I'm not saying Ford versus Tesla or anything like that. What I'm saying is that the environment has been very difficult. As a result, the idea that, oh, well, I'm just going to force it and then get my money back that was lost during the first quarter or something like that, or, I happen to buy a particular stock or change my strategy slightly or made a modification and I didn't get instant gratification, and that's the kind of thing is this is telling you instant gratification is not necessarily what's going to happen. As you can see here, we've been on the screen 20 minutes. I haven't won a hand yet, and I don't think it wasn't mishandling either. I haven't mishandled anything really. I had some weak pairs that I attempted to open prior to the flop. Other persons, raised. I could not continue. There's nothing really more to say, really. And you can see, though, that I'm starting to decline in my position. That said, it's not this by no means. It's a little tough for him to push all in because we got all these people after. Yeah, so ultimately he folded. I'm going to fold. I mean, this is not good enough. This, even though suited ace, ace three. The only good thing is that another person is shorter stack than I am now. I hate looking at the camera because I can see how much I slouch and I'm miscentered and slouch, and it was like my hair looks terrible, and oh my god. So when I look at it over here, you shouldn't make too much of the line items, right? This person has been caught. And all of a sudden our table is full of all these people with not very many chips. You can remember just 10 minutes ago I was the second lowest, and now two other persons lower than I. And chips have kind of gravitated to a couple of people. And this is the ebb and flow of what can happen. It's not too much a concern. I'm not overly... I don't love it by any means. I wish I had his number of chips, right? I wouldn't make too much of these, which particular line items. What I am looking at is, do they represent something indicative of overall strategy? Right? Because then we have to consider. You know, because again, that's just simply an input. You know, each of the, you know, what do I think about Marathon? Well, you know, I'll have something to say about energy relative to the market, and Marathon happening to be an example of a highly levered version. Today's not financial advice, thus you can be sure to remember that sitting underneath the picture, right? So I'm not going to be, you know, I don't care, to be candid with you, you know, about, you know, Alphabet, Google. What I do care about is the fact that Google is a very large market weight of the equity markets as a whole. Now it becomes important. Not because I have some insight on YouTube revenues. That's Numeratorville. Right. We'll get to Numeratorville. And they deserve a pat on the back for creating a term like Numeratorville. Well, I can't continue here. You can see what's happened. So I'm going to sit here and we'll let them stew as if I'm going to call, but I'm not going to call. You know, once again, I'm not strong. My hand's not strong enough. I've got an ace, so he can't have. There's one less ace, two than he thought. Yep, and now he's gone. It's not necessarily wrong. So this is a different person now. We'll have to see. So I haven't played a hand in a while, but I need to play this hand. I didn't want to raise. So once again, this isn't awful. It's not great. But I'm out of position since these other people can do whatever they want. This person is probably going to lead. Just a small C bet is what I expect. Yeah. This is a fairly standard path by him, right? The problem is that I needed a queen, or I needed 2 clubs, or something else to continue, or to call. I can't call here. You know, I have no pair. I'm Jack high, which is Jack. I mean, this is not beautiful again. Very good opening, but flop comes out. Probabilities of me succeeding have adjusted. That's it. I mean, I'm not sure what else there is really to say about it. Okay. All right. You know, people are human, right? So it's not like, which is also, we'll talk about high speed trading as well. Now what? He probably calls. As I thought. With this amount of stack, he's trying to get them the money, the $25, right? So he just can call, and I can't call because he's going to then call. So I'm going to fold here. Yeah. So I would have lost to this person unless there's a king. No. You know. So that would be, you know, a big fold-ish. You know, if this weren't part of the stream, I may have called. If we weren't live stream, I probably would have called. Oh, dang it, lost. Click. That'd be it. The end. Awful. Really. Not very good here. Obviously. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes this happens. Pretty volatile. You know, we talked about the headlines out of China. You know, the fact of the matter is that this is to be expected, right? The amount of influence the United States has relative to other countries has declined. This doesn't mean that, you know, this is an inferior place and they're better. It has nothing to do with this. This is simply, look, 1.7 billion people are going from fifth world to first world, and there's another 1.1 billion, you know, a few hundred miles south. We're 300 million people in the United States. Of course we're going to have less influence. We have not even talked about Japan or the rest of Far East or Southeast Asia. Right? I've discounted Europe because Europe, you know, their rate of change has not really, you know, improved, candidly. Hasn't. For decades. got going on over here? Nothing too interesting here. However, notably higher than the last time we looked. And, you know, rather than get dizzy over here, I'm just looking over here on the third column here, percentage change. Right. Just the percentage change. This list does change, right? I've got other lists, don't get me wrong. This is largely for, you know, today and for the stream. Still nothing too interesting. So we've been here almost an hour, what, 45 minutes? Yep, I've been streaming for 47 minutes and nary a thing. Very boring. This is what I'm saying. Right? If you're going to sit there and think, oh, well, you know, my investment strategy, my retirement strategy has to immediately work that minute. Immediate gratification. That is not right. And it has to do with when I've described hurricane forecasting, right? Hurricane forecast could be the model could be completely perfect. That doesn't mean that's where the hurricane goes. Right? That does not mean that's where the hurricane goes. We need to make sure you understand this type of thing, right? Which is that somebody lost. Let's hope that I've moved to another table and that means I get some better, you know, cards and stuff. So all of that stuff about the hurricane, right? I mean, the model can be perfect, meaning that, you know, the people putting together these models are not like, you know, they're not dumb, to say the least. That doesn't mean the model hits. That doesn't mean the hurricane hits the forecast, the original forecast. It moves. The probabilities of hitting a particular location change. Ten-year U.S. government bonds used to be less than 1%. Today they're 4.15%. Something changed, right? Once again, we have to fold. We have no choice but to fold here. There's like not even a consideration. This person could just like raise on anything, right? Because you know he's got like two short stacks here that can't really hurt him no matter what. So he just gets to bet. We don't have any choice. This is why people want to build this number here early. So you can be the person over there and not like like us, right? We have no choice. We have to fold. I describe myself to certain other people as bad but unlucky, and now you can understand the unlucky part. This is like, you know, I would like to upgrade to card dead. Doing nothing but folding this immediately. Good luck, nickel. All right. Well, I did upgrade from 2-4 to 3-4. Oh boy. Is anyone going to be happier for break than me? Than I? Got to make sure my grammar is right. I got a funny story about grammar. Nothing too interesting. The loss in the NASDAQ is about 50%, half of where it opened earlier today. I wouldn't make too much of it. I don't make too much of it, but we do have to watch. It's not because of what's happened in the U.S., but foreign markets. We've not talked about any complicated matters like currency, cross-currency swaps. Not yet. You know, the Chinese currency is not fully convertible into U.S. dollar or euro or yen. So, you know, we've got a number of pretty peculiar structures as a result of the emergence of the PRC, not even talking about the trade war. I'm nearing the bottom, but you can see I've got no place really here with my cards to do anything. This could end up being the boringest stream ever, other than my comments about the lotto. And if you missed those, be sure to, you know, listen to those because those were 2 important points. No doubt, those were important. Must be nice, nickel. Must be nice. So I've improved. My highest card is now a 6. It's like some very, very, very card dead. The issue is that, you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to be not card dead. It's going to be too late. But it's okay. Euro down. What's different, you know, now compared to 2 years ago? Wow, is nickel going to survive again? Nope. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Let's turn this off. All right, we're back. Let's hope this next bit here turns out a bit better. Derrick Henry, again, unstoppable bowling ball. Have to fold here. You know, these topics that I just talked about with what I can tell from, you know, the data that we have, you know, a large number, very large percentage of the people watching the stream are not in the United States. And the logic that I'm using here, introducing here on Jay's Corner, or kind of, you know, clarifying here, I should say, you know, this applies to other countries, of course, right? I mean, these techniques of evaluation that I've used throughout the channel and throughout the newsletter, which you can subscribe to underneath my picture. You can see jo.substack.com. That is there's a free and paid version. We are getting close to the point where I'm going to have to pull the trigger here. This could be a very short stream, couldn't it? But I've really not had any combination which has been that continues here. Probably not too much going to be different here until Europe opens. So that's middle of the night, 2 o'clock type time frame in the East Coast. You can hear the game in the background. Oh, what a shock. Derrick Henry is not stoppable into the end zone. Still no. Oh boy. We're going to probably muddle here. We've had no movement really. We've had some movement from about 50 points lower on the NASDAQ futures to where we are. So like I said, about half of the losses have been cut. This is just pure force here, right? Big stack pushing around small stacks. doesn't matter what he has. I cannot continue. I think it's the first time that I've flopped a pair. It's pretty incredible. Wow. I'm not sure who's going to be. He was happy, then he's happy, then they're both like a push. Crazy. Well, crazily enough, my patience has run out. Almost certainly a caller here, right? We've got the two big stacks over here. One of the two at the minimum is going to call. Minimum here. Right. This is likely a fold now. He probably folds, then he calls. That's my guess. Or he's going to have to raise. No king. No king. No four. Thank goodness. Okay. Survived one. That was obviously important. You can see what ended up happening, right? I mean, probably lost to this person, but because this person called, he can't continue. Maybe this person had a pair, for example. He could have had a worse hand, so he took the spot. One of the two is very likely to call. Nope. And you can see what ends up happening, right? I mean, what time is it? We've been recording, we've been live for an hour and 18 minutes. First hand. Hour and 18 minutes. That cannot be good. Almost the infamous Jack 4 offsuit. Nine to 7. 9-7. Casey ahead. Like I said, no one said that poker was exciting. No one said poker is exciting. So I'll talk about the top line items here. You can obviously see the single most important item is the top line, the very top one. 10-year. The US 10-year note, US Treasury interest rate, that's the benchmark for most of the borrowing and lending. If you have to name a single number, that can change during times. People are watching other securities now. The US 2-year note, 2-year maturity, 4.66%? Incredible. This thing used to be less than 0.5%. Which has made it a good time for those persons who have saved and have waited. Okay, so now finally let's see if cards can help us at all. Please. The shape of the interest rate curve, meaning the difference between the yields from the 2-year note to the 10-year note, it is now changed to inverted. So that is not okay. You can see other persons like me, low stacks, waiting for opportunities to push all of their chips in. Pair. Premium hand like aces, or not necessarily aces here, but it's going to be very difficult if someone re-raises here for me to stop. Probably going to have to go with it. Okay. I need to see a card here. King, queen, or a spade. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Same thing. The thing is that somebody's made a pair. Yeah. Not sure. 9, 10. So jack, spade, king, queen. I have to call. And we have to call this too. All right. No, I don't want to re-enter. I was dead the entire time. You don't ever know for sure, like I said. So, all right, everybody. That's going to be it. That is going to be it. Not very good today. That can happen. What are we looking at here? The market, the consensus seems to be higher as a result of ongoing gridlock here with Congress. This is generally the boilerplate explanation. The issue is that when you get the boilerplate explanation, this has not been the environment where the boilerplate explanation works. I have heard others saying, hey, during a midterm election, the gridlock, this, that, and the other.